Hey guys, today I'll be showing you something that I made that I think is really cool. I'll be controlling the position of this servo motor here with a PS3 remote control. Yeah, this is a basic DualShock 3 6-axis PS3 remote control. What we'll be doing is controlling the position of the servo motor, as I said, with the left analog stick of this PS3 remote control. So basically the way that this is going to work is the PS3 remote control connects to any device using Bluetooth. So we're going to connect to my computer using a Bluetooth, and using RS-232 we'll be controlling an Arduino board. So right here, if I can get the camera positioned correctly, yeah, we have an Arduino Uno here. I'm using an Uno, but it's not necessarily limited to an Uno board, and that is connected to the servo motor. Basically what we have here is a 7805 5-volt regulator. So I'm actually getting my power for the servo motor from the mains. So I'm using the 7805 power regulator with a 10 microfarad and 1 microfarad capacitor to ensure that the servo has the amount of power it requires. Alright, so basically the main part of this whole exercise or this project is the code. So I've coded this application or this idea in two languages: processing, which is a port of Java, and open frameworks, which is basically C++. So the two main languages which are the most popular are Java and C++. So let me go through this with you and we'll see how it works. We'll start with processing. So basically, here's the Arduino code. All it does is it takes the value from the serial input and it writes it to a variable which is called rate. And then if the old rate is not equal to the current rate, then it writes it to the servo so the servo can move to the correct position. It's a little bit more complex than that, but you get the basic idea. If you want a more detailed explanation, then you can always contact me. The second and the Java program or the processing program is right here. So what we have here is I imported something called Pro Control, which I'm not sure exactly where it's from, but I'll write it in the description. And basically what we do here is we create an object which can control the PS3 remote or control the input of the PS3 remote. So what we'll be doing is taking the PS3 remote controller's values, sending him over via serial to the Arduino, which is there, and using that to control the servo motor. So let me show this in action, and basically if you want more details on the code you can always contact me, but the idea of this video is to get this thing working and show you that it does work. So okay, I'll just plug in the ground wire so the servo motors will be online, and let's run this. Alright, so as you can see, there's a black square in the middle which represents the relative position of the left analog stick. So if I move the left analog stick up, the square moves up. And if I move the left analog stick down, then the square moves down. Same with left and right. However, we've only used the y-axis to control the position of the motor. So let me show you how this works with the motor itself. You may have heard the sound, but let's see this in actual positioning. So here's the servo motor, and here's the remote control or the PS3 controller. So I move it up, the servo moves to U anti-clockwise, and I move it down, the servo moves clockwise. It moves in between values as well, as you can see, increments of small amounts. Alright, so that's the basic processing code. So I hope you like that part of it. Now we're going to go in a little bit more complex. This is C++, which is a more hardware oriented language. However, it's more tedious and it has a lot more code written for it than the processing had. So you don't get too intimidated by the amount of code that's there. It's relatively simple, and it works in basically the same way as the processing code works. It just gives you more access to the physical hardware, so you can do more processing with the remote controller. So I prefer C++, but it's up to you to choose what you want. So let's go over to the processing code. That's the C++ code. Basically, I'm using OIS to control the to get the input from the joystick or the PS3 controller, and I'm using the Open Frameworks libraries to control the output and the serial output and the output to the window or the graphical output, which you'll see. So let me run this for you. Run. Alright, so as you can see, same basic idea here, except instead of a black square we have a red circle here. The red circle again represents the position of the left analog stick. So once again, right, left, up, down. So once again, I'll show you that with the servo. Alright, hope you can see this clearly. So up, down, halfway up, halfway down. Alright, so you get the basic idea. So as I hope you've understood from this, it is possible to control a servo motor or any hardware, because this is digital basically, using a PS3 remote controller. Using a servo motor is not such a complex example, but you can actually do way more and way more complex projects using this. This is just the basic idea. So hope you like it. Take care. See you.